And we're really hoping that you can begin thinking about a problem, a nursing problem that you have experienced or are thinking of doing on your unit. And if you come prepared, you will, and give your questions, you could have a lot of your research planned that day, and she's even been known to email students the material from this day. So with that little caveat in mind, come prepared. We're looking at nursing problems, and I think Bev is going to be talking more about that assignment. I'm going to hand this over to Cheryl so she can talk briefly about our class on April 20th.
Okay. Okay, so the week after the global, what's it called? Global class, global community, we'll be looking at obesity. And Dr. Janet Peterson will be coming from the Linfield campus to talk about that. And she will basically look at obesity from the cellular level all the way to the global perspective. It's really interesting, a lot of fun, and I think a lot of you already know Dr. Peterson. So she has a good time with it. It's a good class. There's also an assignment connected to that, and I'll talk about that in just a minute.
The next week, then, on the 27th, we'll talk about substance abuse in nursing. And we're going to have a recovering nurse that is going to come and tell her story, as well as Elizabeth DeLong, who is the head of the nurse monitoring program from the State Board of Nursing, and Chris O'Neill, who is the Work Healthy Oregon Director of the Oregon Nurses Foundation. And he's given this presentation several times. So they're going to work interactively, first by having Pat Hughes tell her personal story, and then the person from the board will talk about what the monitoring program offers. And then we'll just have interactive, we're going to be broken into small groups and tackle issues like how do you confront a nurse or a colleague that you think has a problem.
And Pam forgot to say, of course, there's a post-class reflective essay.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
The following week,
For the distance students.
for the distance students, yes. The following week, our very own Diane Welch will be here to do a presentation on pandemic flu. And though we all know a fair amount about flu, I am willing to make a bet, although I don't very often bet, that you will learn a bit more with her presentation. And I think that you will enjoy that. And yes, there is a post-class reflective essay related to that.
Okay, on week 6, the topic, our global health topic is immigration and refugee health care issues. There'll be speakers from Tom Kinsey from IRCO, and some of you have done some work with IRCO already. I always forget what it means. Immigration, refugee,
Community organization.
Okay, community organization is there. Has come for the past couple of years and brings with him some immigrants from the center to tell their story and talk about their pathways, and then also some issues that they run into about getting healthcare and healthcare access when they're here. This year we're adding another speaker also, recognizing that our biggest population in Oregon of immigrants are certainly Hispanic. So Adi Molina, who's the Migrant Health Coordinator for the state of Oregon, will be coming and talking a little bit more about migrant health in particular, related to Hispanic health. So this I think, be a really interesting class. There's some required reading up front that I think will help you get ready to get the most out of the discussion. So if you can look at the IRCO website and also look at the Office of Minority Health and the class standards, which are national standards on cultural and linguistic competence. It's just a short document. And in addition, if you can read one of there's several articles there, they're all on eReserve. And if you can choose one of those that sounds interesting to you, and then at the end of the list, there's just some other references that might be handy and helpful to you as you're working in practice. It doesn't say so, but there is a reflective essay also due on this week. So if you could write that in, that there's a reflective essay due, that would be great. Okay.
The reflective essay is on the assignment page on page 8, but I don't know, I looked at this and everybody looked at it a million times and we didn't catch that error. But please write that in. You do have a reflective essay due on that IRCO day. Then the last, week 7, is the book group, and we're going to talk more about that assignment, but this is a really a fun day for you to read 4, I would say, page turners. They're available in the book, our book office, bookstore. Word finding problems, I'm in trouble. They're available in our bookstore and in our library, and several of them have audio tapes available. So if you would prefer to listen to it on tape, they're available to check out. So you might want to get over there quickly if that's your mode of reading. And that should be a really fun day to be with peers. We're giving you permission to read really good books that aren't textbooks, but that have meaning and relate to the course material, but just in a different way.
Dr. Ross already alluded to the attendance and class participation that's listed on page 17. And one thing to remember is that we know that you're attending this class by the attendance sheet. If you haven't signed in on the attendance sheet, then we assume that you're not in attendance. And so you get docked. Your participation for this class is ongoing, and we get a sense for that with the reflective essays that you write. And then your participation and attendance in praxis is monitored by your clinical instructor. So the criteria are pretty clear. We want you to contribute.
Okay, and then there are reflective essays. There are 3 of them across the rest of the semester. And what we're hoping that you'll do in these essays is synthesize what you've read, so your reading assignments, what you've heard when you've been involved in the class and with the presenters, and then to synthesize about what that will mean for you in your practice. I think that, again, the criteria are spelled out really well. This isn't a huge assignment, a minimum of 1 page, maximum of 2 pages, but we're really looking for some reflection and synthesis about these global health topics in these assignments. So be thoughtful, and hopefully we'll see some meaningful reflection on these global health topics. Oh, okay, she wants me to talk about emailing. So if you could email these, please, to your theory instructor by 5 o'clock on Wednesdays. And the distance students get an extra day because they have to watch the videotape. So distance students, please email by 5 o'clock on Thursday.
Okay, the BMI assignment's on page 19.